Hello, Grid Investor Network. This is Danielle Palloschi-Browne. I'm with the Casa Group, agent investor, and you're here on series 2 of, or episode 2 of our investor agent series, which I'm really excited about. So last week you got to follow me along on a day in the life of an investor agent, and I hope you learned a lot from that, and I hope that what that kind of showcased to you is a little bit how that can be so different than a standard agent that is working with clients that wants to resell properties. So today I am here at a beautiful listing in Holland Hills, Alexandria, which is a mid-century modern community, and this is probably one of the coolest houses I've ever been in, and the art is absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna show that to you guys in a separate tour video. But first, today we're gonna be talking about finding your niche as an investor agent. Like, what does that mean? Like, I am an investor agent. I love working with investors, developers. I want to work with any of them, right? And especially when you start out as an agent, you don't get very selective about who you want to work with because you're trying to build your business. Now, I want to tell you that can actually lead to a lot of like dissatisfaction with what you're doing every day, feeling like you're not really getting momentum anywhere, feeling like you're not really focusing enough on the activities that you need to do to make yourself really happy, and to grow your business in a way that makes you happy long term and brings you in more money and helps you make more deals. So this is what I would recommend. There's several niches. When I say niches, I mean types of investors or types of clients in this case that you can work with. And here are kind of the main categories. First, I would say you have your flipper, landlord, buy and hold. So that's all kind of one category. What's great about those clients is they're serial clients, meaning that you're going to have them several times per year. These could also be people that you help buy and sell their personal homes or did in the past. So say you've been an agent that's been working on resale for a really long time, and now you're like, oh, I want to pivot into the investor realm. That's a great way to start converting those clients, is to help them build their wealth by becoming landlords and buying real property. This niche, to me, is an amazing opportunity for a lot of people because you can help with a rental. You can help them with property management if that's something that you wanted to offer. You know, that's not a standard realtor commission, so that would be an additional service. And before you offer property management, you should really do your research on whether or not that's something you want to provide. There's lots of property management companies out there, so again, do your research. But that's something you could also do. So what's really cool about that niche is you can kind of stack the services that you offer while being able to sell them more than one property per year. So one of my personal goals in my business is for each of my clients that I focus on working with, I want to be able to sell them upwards of 2 to 3 properties per year, and or do 2 to 3 deals with them per year, whether it's listing side or buy side. And the reason for that is it helps you grow your business without necessarily having to expand your reach super far. I really like going deep, and your database is super important, but making sure that you're fulfilling your needs to the clients that you have already is super important as well, because you're never going to be able to make money otherwise. So landlords, buy and hold, serial investors who like to be landlords. That's group number 1. Group number 2, I would say, is your infill flipper. So your medium or developer. Medium builder, like maybe does 2 to 20 projects per year where they're buying a property, completely value adding to it, changing it, major renovation, possibly even knocking it down and completely building it from scratch. Anywhere up to maybe 20-ish of those properties, that would be your medium-sized builder client. Now, there's 2 ways to help them. And what a lot of builders do is if you help them find a property or a project up front, something that needs to be torn down or majorly renovated, then once they renovate it, they often will list that with you as their agent. So you get 2 deals for the price of 1. And while they're renovating that, they often will allow you to market it so you can get other buyer clients and potentially other listings in those neighborhoods. You can leverage that listing for more options for your marketing. So that's a huge opportunity. Now, where that can be challenging is you have to be excellent and no fear. If you're a wholesaler, this could be a niche for you if you're trying to get into the agent game, because there's a lot of speaking with distressed sellers, speaking with sellers that are interested in selling in a non-traditional fashion. So maybe they're not distressed at all. Maybe they're just like, I don't want to go on the market. I don't want a bunch of people walking around my house. I don't want people shooting a video in my house. I just go a little active. Like, these are the kinds of things that they just are like, I don't want that to be part of my home sale process. Cool. You can help them. You can help them find that property, and then you can help them sell it later on. So huge opportunity there, but note with low inventory, it's going to really take a skill set of, I like to hunt. I really, really like to hunt and get creative. And I can go into a lot of different ways you can do this in another video in the future, but that's, option number 2, infill builders, developers. Then I would say option number 3 is your larger scale developers. So commercial developers, people who, commercial could also be residential, but I'd say people who like to do condo conversions. In DC, this is super popular. You take a row home, you turn it into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 condos, and sell those. I love working with clients like that because, one, you can help them buy that one property, and then you can help them list all of those units afterwards. You can also consult on what exactly those units should have, or how many of them they should be for them, aka the developer, your client, for them to have the best ROI possible on that property. That's something I personally really enjoy doing. It's kind of my niche, but there's so much there that goes into it. So you can have the residential side, which would be any project or property that has 4 units or less. Or you could do the commercial side, which has 5 units or more, and or is mixed use in some kind of a way where there's, a retail space, a restaurant, a little, some kind of office space on one level. Usually it's the main level or the bottom level, and then you have residential properties upstairs. Those are huge. I find them to be some of the best opportunities, and you're helping to completely reshape what that property was. So you're adding a ton of value to that community, that area, and helping to create a lot more housing, which right now housing is in like a huge demand, and there's just not enough of it. A lot of those same developers that sometimes if you sell them that property, instead of converting it to condos, they want to keep it as rental apartments. So it can still become a mixed use or a multifamily building, and you can still help with renting all of those properties. And if that's, you're like, oh, well, why would I want to do those rentals, which some agents don't love doing rentals. If you could do 15 of the exact same rental for the same building and get paid, why not? Plus, all you do is add to your database of potential buyers that might be interested in those areas as well, and in the future. And you can help them with that and possibly sell them properties and other projects that you're working on. So those are kind of the 3 main niches is the way I look at it. Again, you've got your buy and hold landlords, either at a small scale or a slightly larger scale. Your in-sale flippers, maybe they do up to 20 per year, but they're really flipping mostly single-family homes rather than multifamily homes. And then you have your developers, condo converters, and much larger scale projects, and commercial developers. So picking one of those niches and figuring out which one do I want to go with, where do I really find a lot of joy, is really important to your business. You want to kind of try a little bit, I would say first, of the buy and hold landlords and the infill flippers. And the reason I say that is because you're kind of doing different research every day about those kind of properties to help find and hunt for them for those clients. So for instance, you're going to look at different properties on MLS. You're going to hunt for different properties in Remine and all different other resources to find sellers that have those properties to sell, mostly off market, let's be real. So when you think about, hey, what kind of stuff do I want to hunt for every day? What kind of research do I want to do? That's where I would say start with that as a test run for your niche. Figure out what you like to do every day or what you like to research, and figure out what numbers do I like to run, what kind of projects do I get really excited about, and then try that for a little bit. Gain your clientele, go to networking, meet people here in the Grid Network, and figure out how can I help work with them as an agent and bring them value and get to do the activities that I like to do every day that get me up, that get me excited, and can help me do deals. So I would say start with those 2. Larger scale or commercial developers, that's something that after you do this for a while, that could be something that you really branch into. It can be a little bit more complicated, and I would say it's absolutely worth your while that if you're an agent to do some kind of commercial real estate continuing education or certification. I took that several years ago as part of like C credits that I needed in one of the states that I was licensed in, and it truly helped me have a lot of the knowledge and skills that I need to be able to talk to large scale developers and figure out comps and both rental, in sale, and out sale comps for commercial and mixed use properties. So I would say that is something you can often grow into unless you have a background in that, which then by all means go for it. But if you start with infill builders, like do I really like looking for individual, like the HGTV, if you will, I almost hesitate to even say that out loud for fear of the comment section and what this could turn into. But if you really like looking at a single family home and you're like, this is what I think I could turn this into, go for it, then start there. But if you're like, ooh, I'd really like to sell a building that has like 4 units in it and find somebody who wants to buy that or possibly live there and purchase it, cool. Start with either one, start with both, and then kind of divert into one or the other. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at so much inventory that it may overwhelm you on a daily basis. You're probably not going to get to know all of that inventory as well as you really need to be like a truly successful and happy agent for your clients, and to be fully knowledgeable of the market. And then over time, just figure out what you like to do and then just keep doing it. If you have any questions about how to find those deals, how to find those opportunities, how to analyze them, and how you should present these to potential clients, let me know in the comment section and I can do an entire series on this. It's a specialty of mine. I truly love doing it. And let me know what else you want to see next. So that is it for this week. Thank you so much for all your feedback last week on our day in the life, and I look forward to your comments and thoughts this week. And check out my Instagram at Danielle Palloschi-Browne. I believe there's an underscore between Palloschi and Brown on Instagram, so you know, oops. And I'm gonna have a tour of this house, this really cool house, up later today if you want to check it out here in Holland Hills, Alexandria. Well, thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.